Ми продовжуємо робочий день. До слова запрошую.
Colleagues, to continue our day, the floor is given to the Speaker of ATO under the administration of President Ukraine, Mr. Andriy Lysenko. Good afternoon, esteemed colleagues. Exactly 1 year ago in the east of Ukraine, an awful, terrible tragedy took place by the terrorists with the Russian anti-aircraft rocket complex book. The terrorists actually downed the passenger aircraft Boeing 777 over the next region. As a result of this disaster took the lives of 298 people, including 15 crew members and 80 children. This is what happens when a lot of high technology lethal weapon gets into the hands of the criminals. Now, today the International Expert Commission is completing the investigation of the strategy. Like a year ago, the war in Donbass area continues, since Russia and the militants did not still harbor their aggressive plans. Now the latest news from the ATO on the Lugansk direction situation somewhat aggravated near the village of Staroye Dara. Our military men successful without any casualties countered the attack of the subversive and reconnaissance group of the enemy who tried to cross the Seversk River. Also, for the first time, over the several late recent weeks, the militants actually carried out 3 powerful artillery shellings over a position Makhmutsky Highway near Novotashkivka, Orikhovo. They also fired from the southern direction using the guns of different systems near Lugansk, Shastin, Troitsk, and Kalinovo. In the next direction, situation has been stabilized near Svetlodarsk and Gorlovka, also along the railroad Konstantinka and Svatar. They haven't registered any facts of violation of the ceasefire on the part of the illegal armed formations. The active combat actions took place only in the section on the front between Avdiivka and Mariinka, especially at night and in the early hours in the morning. In particular, between Avdiivka and Svatar, Ukrainian military men prevented the breakthrough of the subversive and reconnaissance group of the enemy. Also, we should know the activities of the enemy snipers who are stationed in the southern and western outskirts of Donetsk and fire tower position Mariinka and Krasnogorovka. The ceasefire continues to the south of Donetsk. In Mariupol direction, the situation remains more or less relatively calm. We didn't have any casualties near Shirokino, though there was a firearms used. Yesterday in the ATO zone, we registered 2 flights of the UAVs, and over the last 24 hours, we didn't have any casualties. 2 of our guys were wounded. The Ukrainian army constantly and systematically increases its capability both in the front line and in the rear. In Chernihiv region, they continue the training of Ukrainian artillery experts. They fire at the fixed targets, and their commanders are trained to control their subunits. Also, in the Black Sea, we have the multinational exercise Sea Shield 2012 near Romania. Taking part in the exercise is our frigate Hetman Sagaidash with a helicopter on board. The Ukrainian vessel will carry out the task to lead the vessels behind the minesweepers. Also the other exercises like towing, defense of the vessels from the air and the subsurface enemy, and interception. The SBO Ukraine finds the criminals and the collaborators of the militants. In village of Novotroitsk, Donetsk region, they detained a militant with the nickname Kashey, who actually served in the notorious band formation in Somalia and participated in combat actions near Donetsk airport. After being wounded, he was sent to the territory which is controlled by Ukrainian government. Now he is going to talk about his actions to the investigators and then in the courtroom. One more informer of the militants was detained in Lugansk region. He supplied the gangsters and bandits from the so-called LPR the information about the location of Ukrainian checkpoints and movement of our military equipment by railroad. Also, SBU found the hideout with ammunition and arms in the Dnipropetrovsk region. The rotation continues since abuse of Ukrainian law enforcement bodies in this ATO zone. The policemen from Suma went to the east to replace in this dangerous section their colleagues. Also, the regular, the team of Vinnytsia police, which for months were in the ATO zone, returned home. They did their task and their duties before the state and Ukrainian people. They were met, about 80 people were met by their friends and their relatives. The militiamen thanks them for the support, because in different residents support our fighters with food products, clothes center, and all the necessary components. After 5 days rest, those courageous guys are going to return back to take care of their service duties. Also, coming to front line is another reserve from the Armed Forces of Ukraine. The epicenter of the combat falls on the Donetsk direction. That's why coming here are the military men who for two months were involved in the very intensive training at special range. They have everything necessary for them to carry out their duties. In our history, a story about the courageous women who serve in the ranks of National Guards of Ukraine. Radio telegraphist Irina Slapchenko Elena Shaptala recently came to the subunit after they completed their practical training. They became the first ladies communication sphere who went to the front line. On the par with the males, the women, day and night, and carry their service at in their positions, demonstrating excellence of their training, their stamina and discipline. And the work of the communication expert maybe is not very visible for the majority, but it's very important, and it's hard to overestimate their role. This ends my story. Are there any questions or clarifications? There are none, so thank you very much for your information. And see you tomorrow, our next briefing at 1300 sharp. Thank you.